Only mode.
And one absent is full board with the exception of Commissioner Sullivan. Chief, over to you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Hope everyone is well. Just moving into tonight's agenda, as far as communications, the only communication since our last meeting is the press release that was forwarded this past Monday in regards to the incident that occurred on March 12th on East Main Street. Would the commission like to discuss that, review any additional information?
I sent a letter to the governor, to Senator Skoufis, Aileen Gunter, the chair of the local governments, and the judicial chair. There is no public safety committee in the Senate or in the Assembly. So the only one person has responded to my email so far. Not our local elected officials that represent us have not responded to anything. So.
Well, they both responded to mine, so maybe they felt that I can read the senators. You're talking about Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I also sent a letter to both, to all, the governor's staff, Senator Skoufis and Assemblywoman Gunther. And let me find it here, and then I can get a better, clearer picture of what we're talking about. I can't find it in my email here, Chief, but for the council president, they did, Assemblywoman Gunther followed up with a phone call and a email, and Senator Skoufis did follow up. They are both supportive of the changes that are being proposed by the governor regarding bail reform, and did express concern about the incident in the city. And I know Assemblywoman Gunther talked about the cameras also that she's funding through, which will hopefully be helpful in the future. But we know the bottom line is that the bail reform issue and the mental health system had a total breakdown.
Yes.
And that's what we're responding to. So there'll be more to come in the near future with that. But for now, that's where we stand with it.
Very good. I just realized all the petitions are down. I'm looking like something's different.
No, we left two up. We didn't want the mayor, we blocked the mayor and anybody that walks in.
That's good.
Does anyone have anything under old business that they would like to bring up and discuss? Moving into new business, the minutes from the February meeting were forwarded to the commission for their review. Is there any discussion on the minutes from February? Being no discussion, if I could have a motion to accept them as written. Mills, second by Vignola. All in favor?
Aye.
Appreciate that. Looking at the stats from February, our statistics, I did forward the report out to the commission for review, just to hit some of the highlights, and there's a lot more in this than what I briefed the commission on, but I'm open to discussion as well. So for the month of February, the department handled 2,640 calls, which was a slight decrease of 11% over January. However, February was a few days shorter as well. January, we had 2,975 calls. Our Part 1 crimes, which are broken down into two categories, violent and property. In the month of February, we investigated 52 Part 1 crimes, 10 of which fell in the violent categories, 42 which fell in the property. Out of those 42, 38 of them were larceny related. Larcenies continue to be the push of our Part 1 crimes. And that's a big portion of them are car larcenies. Yeah, the thefts from stores. They're the things that are pushing those numbers. In January, we dealt with 62 Part 1 crimes. Part 2 crimes for the month of February, we handled 73. In January, we had 82. Arrests for the month of February, the department made 181 arrests in comparison to 226 in January. In February, the department issued 455 traffic summons in comparison to 376 in January. And in parking tickets, the department issued 550 in the month of February in comparison to 767 in January. Out of those 181 arrests, 8 of those incidents required some type of force, which equates to 4.4% of total arrests for the month. Any discussion on the statistics?
No, Chief, but I did find the letter, so I'd like to just read it into
Okay.
the record.
Yes, sir.
And his response. So, this is to Scoofus, and similar went to Assemblywoman Gunther. I am forwarding a press release issued by the Middletown Police Department regarding a serious incident happened Sunday morning. This is what we as a small city are dealing with in regard to the impacts of bail reform and the failures of the mental health system. I have also attached a photo of the victim. This cannot be shared with the public, but illustrates the viciousness of the attack. For at least 3 days, this guy terrorized our community that ended with this attack and his arrest. Finally, bail was set at $250,000. Questions arise as to why a violent convicted felon, sex offender, was not held for bail after his arrest for a strong-arm robbery on Friday. We then learned that prior to Friday, the service provider, Rehab Support Services, RSS, was aware that this man was having mental health issues and they were looking for a bed or some type of treatment for him. So there was an awareness by this agency that this person posed a danger to the community. On Sunday, RSS called the mobile mental health unit to respond to David Johnson's apartment. At 10:04 a.m., RSS notified the Middletown Police Department requesting that they meet the mental health unit at Mr. Johnson's apartment. After a very brief meeting with David Johnson, he was released. At 11:02 a.m., he was disorderly in DeFilippi's Bakery at 26 East Main Street, and at 11:15 a.m., he attacked the victim on the street. This is a major failure of the system, from bail reform to the mental health system, including the provider of services, RSS. This could have been avoided, and now we have a man with serious injuries and an angry community demanding answers. What New York State agency is overseeing these agencies, and can RSS explain how they can ignore their very own concerns regarding this guy for days? Who is holding them accountable? How do we get answers on what these agencies are doing in our community with tax dollars from New York State? You have been responsive to the needs of our city in the past, and I'm aware that you have been advocating for changes in the system. I hope this information is helpful and has an impact on decisions coming out of Albany. He did respond, thank you. This is certainly helpful and instructive as we debate further changes to the bail laws in budget negotiations. The main point of contention of which is repealing the least restrictive means provision of the 2019 reforms. I'm supportive of this proposal from the governor, which I'm told by Orange County District Attorney would provide additional needed flexibility in about 15% of the cases in the county. This is the most consequential public safety issue being contemplated over the next few weeks, and I will be pushing from my end. And similar response from Assemblywoman Gunther.
Mayor, I have to thank you on behalf of the department for reaching out to our elected officials to gain that support and show them how it does impact the community on the local level. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Moving forward into the agenda, just a brief discussion on our staffing. Currently, as we sit today, I have 2 vacancies. The department is currently budgeted for 72 sworn personnel, and I have 70. Out of that, I have 1 that's been on long-term disability. That's Officer Barone. And as of tomorrow, I will be losing an additional member. That's Lieutenant Khalil is conducting his walkout tomorrow. His official retirement date will be March 30th. So with his retirement, I will show 3 vacancies. But in regards to Lieutenant Khalil, I'd like to just recognize him, thank him for his service. Just about 24 years. He rose to the rank of lieutenant. He's been an asset to the department, to the community, and I must say he's probably the most well-known member of the police department in many, many, many years. Like wherever I go, someone knows him on a whole different, level. So, and I'm sure he'll be well recognized tomorrow for that. Our sergeant and detective exams will be held on June 10th of this year. I was just notified by civil service that they were made aware of that date. Our lieutenant exam will be held this fall. I don't know what the date is at this point. I also currently have 2 vacant full-time dispatcher positions. The exam was given this past January. We're expecting the results from them May or June, at which time we'll conduct background investigations and look to fill those spots. I'm also in the process of conducting 2 background investigations on part-time dispatchers to help us fill the void. They're just about done. I should have them hopefully by tomorrow and start looking those over. And then I'm also having the detectives conduct a background investigation on a person for the position of keyboard specialist. And she's actually bilingual. She moved to the area about 4 or 5 years ago. During the interview, I interviewed 3 different people, and she definitely seemed to be on the top of my list. So we're hoping that the background goes smooth, and once that comes back, be looking to bring her aboard as well. I'm still running the CST, the crime suppression team. I have 2 officers in there right now, Officer Giovanalio and Officer Langford. I do have some of their current statistics. If the commission would like to hear some of the stuff that they've been doing in the last 45 days that they've been in there.
Sure.
Yeah. So they were in for 45 days as of yesterday in this unit. During that time, they've effected 69 arrests, 35 of which are city code, which are quality of life type offenses, 25 bench warrants. 3 of them were for aggravated unlicensed operation, criminal possession of controlled substance, loitering and unlawful use of controlled substances. Some additional arrest warrants. They were part of the robbery arrest this past weekend. Several mental health cases, assault second case, harassment, larceny, criminal trespass. They've issued 9 traffic summons, 1 parking offense. So they're very productive, seems to be having a positive impact. We try to focus them on hotspots based on crime statistics and current trends. So it's been productive thus far. We'll be looking to rotate these 2 officers out here in the next coming weeks and replace them with 2 other people to kind of give people.
Who are the
an
officers?
Officer Giovanalio and Langford. They both have done very well. The backgrounds that I've mentioned, and as we move forward with some of the police officer candidates, we recently changed to a background software platform. It's all the same information that the commission would normally receive from one of our background packets during an interview, that big bound book. However, it's done in a digital format now. So just a question for the commission is how you would like to receive that information as we go into interview processes. I could print
Digital's
it.
fine with me prior to the meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I could send it in a
Email?
form, like a
Email?
PDF, or I could create passwords to the accounts that you could look at, whatever you prefer. Like the one that I have done right now that was just done, it's 219 pages. But, so I could do it digital, the PDF, email it.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Yeah.
PDF's fine.
President, yeah.
Another just thought, I don't know if it's easier for the commission, like I could have our IT person create individual commission email accounts for you, if you would prefer that, or if you want to just receive it as you receive it.
No, I get enough
No,
email.
I got enough emails.
I got like 3 of them now, and I don't check them all.
Okay, just I feel like we're going a lot more electronic, so I just want to make sure that everyone has what they need. And
Unless
would,
individually, if you want your own, you can have one.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's
I-
fine.
I know Commissioner Vignola, your family acquired a tablet for you. Does anybody need a tablet? I could get them if someone needs them.
I got quite a bit big advice on this thing, so,
Okay, so I'll try to fill it up for you.
thank you.
Would you like a tablet? I could provide one if you need one.
No,
Okay. Right, moving into training, since our last meeting, I'll just highlight the trainings that the department participated in. The entire department participated in the annual PPE and bloodborne pathogens refresher training. Some of the canine handlers attended the Explosive Detection Canine Handler Conference. We actually assisted the fire department, the volunteer fire department. We trained 22 of their members in CPR and AED. We sent members to search warrant writing training. Myself and Sergeant Regino and Lieutenant Dolan attended protest response and anticipated public order standards. That's about how to properly respond to any type of public demonstration. And currently, as of this past Monday, Officer McDonald began the K-9 training with his new K-9 partner. His current K-9 partner is getting ready to retire, which we'll try to hold out until the new one is ready, if we can. We may have to retire him sooner than that, but he just started Monday. I have not actually seen and met the dog yet, and he has not officially named the dog yet. He's still trying to get a feel. So once we do get that name, I will share that with the commission.
Name him Miguel.
His previous dog is about 8 years old. And so the new dog, all the equipment is all being funded under grants, so it has no direct cost to the municipality, which was very gracious of the grant providers. We also just tomorrow would be the conclusion of our second round of our quarterly firearms training, and we incorporated defensive tactics refresher in that, so the whole entire department went through that as well. And during the week of February 20th, while the school was on winter break, we utilized the high school to conduct active shooter refresher training. And what we do is we do a rotation that half the department goes every year, so it's always being refreshed. And this was a great opportunity that we brought some of the members of Town of Walkill Police Department in with us and trained with them, being that they are a neighboring department. So I appreciate their support in joining us. And I'm super honored to inform the commission that today, Lieutenant Hargett graduated from the FBI National Academy, the 285th session. So he's officially graduated, and him and his family will be making their way back up to New York over the weekend. So it's definitely an honor. 1% of law enforcement worldwide gets the opportunity to attend this training. So it's a huge honor. And I've been in communication with him throughout the whole process. He is beyond appreciative and has nothing but positive stuff to say. So maybe next commission meeting, I'll have him come and maybe share some of his experience.
Yes, please.
Chief, going back to the vacancies, are we
Yes, sir.
doing a police academy?
Yes, so I had a meeting, I'm part of the training committee for the academy. There's an issue on civil service end that the county has not received their list of candidates. It was supposed to come out last Friday, but then they have to actually do physical agilities, which are going to be done in April. After the agilities, they recertify the list. They should be out sometime May, latest by June. And then the departments have to do backgrounds. So besides the three cities, ourselves, Port Jervis, and Newburgh, all the other municipalities pull from the same county list. So they're waiting on that to do hiring. The current list is pretty much expired. There's only a few people on it that the departments are not satisfied with. So that's kind of the holdup right now.
We did the agility in the fall, right?
We did it, so we elected to give the exam last spring, so we got ahead of it. The exam that the county gave was in the fall, so the results are just coming out now from the state. So I'm happy we did it in the spring. It still took a long time for us, but it put us a few months ahead of time. And if ourselves and City of Newburgh were the only ones ready for the anticipated March Academy, other than doing the final interviews, which I held off only because the Academy's not ready, but we're looking probably June right now for the Academy, yeah. So we are doing backgrounds. I have a combination of people that would have to go to the Academy and people that are already certified. So possibly next meeting, if the commission is okay with it, I'd have people to present for interview purposes.
And going back to K-9, are we promoting a new K-9 or just?
This is a replacement K-9. So right now with Officer McDonald, we have 3 K-9s. We have Officer Berman, Officer McDonald, and Sergeant McInerney. Sergeant McInerney's dog still has a few years left in him, but when that dog is done, I would not be looking to replace him. Officer Berman's dog is probably within a year or so that it will need to be replaced. The only reason that Officer McDonald was selected before Officer Berman is because the grant is specific to a explosive detection, and that is the specialty that Officer McDonald has, where Officer Berman's dog and his training is focused on narcotics. So the grant was specific, so we had to replace the explosives one. Good?
Thank you.
Any questions in regards to our training?
No?
We try to really make sure our staff gets as much training as they can, both in-house and outside. Some community events. We are going to start up our leadership program again. First day it'll kick off is March 21st next week, and it'll run through May 30th. This will be our third round of the leadership program. This is what we do. It's one night a week. We do it at the Police Academy building. It's middle school and high school age youth from the community. And so far, it's been a really great opportunity. I actually ran into a student the other day while I was in the school. She signed up for it again. She said she enjoyed it so much the first time, she wants to come back to it. So as long as there's room, I'm sure there'll be allowed for people to come around more than once. So we utilize our SROs to identify people in the schools that may most benefit from these programs. And then as to prevent any obstacles, Sergeant Welch worked out with Department of the Recs Department. They had an old bus that they weren't using, so we acquired that, and she makes it very convenient. She or her staff go to the school at the end of the school day and pick up the kids that are part of the program, so there's no issue about how they need to get there, and then at the end, we take them home as well. So just try to remove some obstacles and barriers for them. Yes?
How many students will be participating in this week's session?
I don't know the exact numbers. The last time we had 12, the first time we had about 20. So we're hoping that 15 mark is our goal, give or take. We try not to turn anyone away, but we also have to keep it manageable. But I will get a number for you. Yep. Just to show our continued support with the school district and how we work together, Lieutenant Dolan and Sergeant Welch meet with the school administration staff every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. to discuss what's going on in the school, what's going on in the community, and how they may cross and intermingle. So this is something that's been going on for about 3-4 months now. Shame on me for not highlighting that in the past meetings. And then once a month, they meet as a community collective team with like members from town of Wallkill, other community advocate programs to talk about programs that are going to come up or are being discussed or how we could help in any way and collaborate together. So that's a meeting that's been going on for about a year, it's very successful. I was actually at a meeting today for something else, and that brought up about how that's unique being done here in Middletown. So appreciate the support and the relationship with the school that helps us with that. In regards to internal investigations, I did forward the commission since our last meeting 3 that we completed in-house, and I forwarded them to the commission for your input, your thought, your review. What I would ask is if you would like to discuss them in detail, that we do it in an executive session, being that they are personnel matters. If you have nothing to discuss, we could vote on accepting them, but that's up to the commission.
I'm fine. Gene?
Oh, good.
Yep.
Accept them as written?
Yep.
Okay. So the 3 that I forwarded to the commission, and just to be very brief on them to protect the personnel matters, is one is an internal investigation in reference to Police Officer Reed, dated January 16, 2023, which ended up with a written counseling. Second is an internal investigation in reference to Police Officer Shalaba, dated January 2nd, 2023, which ended in a written counseling. And one is an internal investigation in reference to Police Officer Iannuzzi, dated March 1st, 2023, that ended with a stipulation of settlement with disciplinary action. So if I could have a motion to accept them as written.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Appreciate that. The next item on my agenda would be to discuss the next block of policy and procedure. So for the month of March on our agenda was Chapter 3 policies 321 through 354. And I know the last, in February's meeting, we talked about any questions or comments or concerns and then voted as a block. if the commission would like to do that, or we could do it however the commission would like to.
Anybody have a preference?
Vote as a block?
Block?
Block.
I have no questions on it.
Okay, no questions?
Move it as a
on it?
block?
Motion for a block?
Okay. So being no questions, if I could have a motion to accept as written our new policies 321 through 354.
Motion.
I have a motion
Second.
by Commissioner Rodriguez, second. Vignola. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried, I appreciate that. Commission's happy with the format of the policies, not too much. I know it's a lot of extra reading. For our April meeting, our next block of policy and procedure would be all of Chapter 4, which is policies 400 through 433. Other than a couple items, I would request that we move into executive session for, being that they are personnel matters. I have nothing left on the agenda. Does the commission have anything that they would like to discuss with me?
Public.
Being that there's no questions from the commission, we do have members of the audience. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to discuss anything with me or the commission? Alderman
up.
Kleiner.
Good afternoon, Chief. I have the same question I had last month, which is Animal Control Officer. Have we heard anything on the civil service exam or any status update?
Yes, I was advised that the results did go out to there's 3 people that passed the exam, and they're all just notified of their passing results.
Okay, very good. And a question from constituent, are we going to be doing the neighborhood enhancement officers this year specific to wards, or is it going to be city general, or have we?
Based on the staffing, it's going to be city general. We did not stop it. Officer Berman and Officer Estromara, which have attended many of the ward meetings
Right.
over the last year, I plan on keeping them for the time being. They seem to be very well versed and doing very good in the program. So I would like to continue it with them at this time.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any other comments, concerns, questions?
No. Good.
I would request a motion to go into executive session for personnel matters.
I make a motion to go in executive session.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commission will be moving into executive session at 5:00 PM to discuss personnel matters.
Please be advised this ends the public portion of today's meeting. Thank you.